What is up, Veve family? I am here with the big gun on the Twitter Spaces. We got Veve Viral in the house, man. Over 15K followers. I don't know how he does it, but he's been promoting my videos. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be. So, true OG. Really a big FA collector. Really knows what he's up to. So, yo, man, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I know I just messaged you out of nowhere. I'm just at school. There's no kids today, so I was like, yeah, I have time.
That's amazing. So you're a teacher in the day, and then you're an influencer at night. Is that how it works?
A realtor at night, and then influencer every time I have a few seconds to use these fingers.
That's amazing.
I'm not sure that I would consider influencer. I don't even have a video. I mean, a YouTube channel or anything like that.
Wow. Yeah, I've got to show everybody your, your pinned tweet, just so everybody kind of knows who you are here. Can you see that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Yeah. So check this out, everybody. This is his amazing pinned tweet that literally has, I don't even. Oh, just went to the wrong channel. But how many followers do you have now? About 16,000?
No, it's still 15 something.
15 and a half. Yeah, look at this. 15.6K. And then this is this video that you've had up since May 31st, 2021. And how crazy is that? Back in the day, that was all the OG stuff, right? All the Todds, the Joe Mads.
All of those except for Rizzo were bought straight from the store.
That's crazy, man.
Rizzo was more though.
How much did you pay for Rizzo back then?
Like 5.5 or something. It was a mint 200 and something.
Wow.
At that time, Rizzo was one of the first ones to become a 4-figure pieces.
Yeah, that was insane. I remember back in the day, people were selling it for 2 to 4K. And I was so mad that I didn't get one. And then I thought Nightwing was going to be that next logical step. So I was like, oh, if Rizzo's going for 4, I get Nightwings. They should go for 2. I was mistaken, unfortunately. But
yeah, back when 1750 was like considered extremely scarce, and
yeah,
I thought that as more time passed, it was only going to be bigger and bigger and bigger edition size. Which it is. I mean, it's a mix. It's a strong mix.
Yeah, man, I hear you. And you're a big FA collector, right? Like you've been like talking about that like me since day one. You've got all the FAs, if I'm not wrong, right? The big ones?
Well, I don't have WA. I would want one. I mean, that one's the one out of the ones I don't have that I want the most. That one and maybe Secret Rare Miles. That I would love to have that one.
Yes, sir.
I need to get my dad in your club. He landed one on drop. And I asked him when is he gonna sell it, and he's like, "Why would I sell in these market conditions?" So
that's crazy. Yeah, it's funny. I'm holding it too. I didn't get it on the drop. I bought it, but I just think that it could be that next gen Spider-Man. And I just thought with the low edition supply, I'm like, if it gets into the MCU, I was like, I just think it's gonna be a banger, man.
Yeah, I mean that one could cost twice as much as OG Secret or Spider-Man and still be half the market cap. So it's a great one. It's a great one that I don't have the Secret Spider-Man either. I think either one of those is a good long-term hold.
Yeah, but I also saw you just recently got the ultra rare Vader, and you've got a bunch of commons as well, right?
Yeah. I was getting stacking some of the commons, not that many, but I was getting some commons and some low min commons as well, and finally got a UR.
Nice.
For 7 something. I mean, that's a good entry if you ask me.
Dude, that's an amazing entry, considering that, Vader also dropped in the bear market as well. So in my opinion, a lot of people didn't really get to see its full potential. Like if it was in the bull, maybe it would have went to 10K, and then it dropped from 2.5 down to 800 or 700. So that's an amazing entry. Yeah.
I could see that one. Yeah. Going to 10K, not financial advice. And like in a major run where the economy is back, hope is back.
Yeah. That's how I see it too. And I see like Boba Fett, like at that same time, I keep looking at like percent ROI, and I'm like, okay, Boba Fett's like 100 something, again, not financial advice, but I'm just like,
the UR is 100 and something?
Yeah, the UR, bro, is only like 114 or something. So I was like, if, Vader gets to 10, I think Boba Fett should at least get to a K,
Yeah, because they typically like follow each other by IP. Like if Superman and Todd start pumping, then so will like Wonder Woman and Flash and like the rest of the set. Like they tend to follow each other because it's all about comparables. Like it's how our brain functions.
Yeah, you got it, bro. And that's kind of how it is. It's like, once one goes up, then all the other ones in that category start to slowly try to climb the ladder as well. And I've got a few people saying, did anyone get Pride the airdrop for Pride, and bro, that was a pretty big airdrop. Like people that collected all the sets, they lucked out big time. Like that's some
Yeah.
serious
What
airdrops.
what's the total edition run on that one? Was it only for those that had either one of the prides, or they had to have like all
Bro, I think
the?
it was all, but I think there was like something like just over 2,000 for the prides,
Oh,
which is pretty
that's low.
good.
Yeah.
And then I think for the other one too, which was the James Bond, that James Bond poster in real life sells for like 3,200 euros. So like people that got it are flipping it for like 60 gems. Like until the real James Bond collectors get in here, like it's almost better off just to kind of holding these things and seeing, how it plays out, right?
Yeah, right now a lot of people devalue them simply for being posters, and there's like they have a bad rep in DBV posters in general. But I mean, I don't have any, but it is important to realize that some of them can stand out for the crowd, even though posters or FVs as a whole might have a bad rep. I mean, there's going to be a few within that mix that will stand out over time.
Yeah, you got it, man. Yo, so it's actually really freaking cool to meet you because
Same, I've been watching you since before I even made my Twitter account.
no way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
because
first, if you go to your very far first, was it your first video period? With the one about Todd? Or like
yeah. That was like my first ever video, bro.
yeah, I commented that. I was before I was on Twitter. I was like, hey, do you recommend um, buying one ETH or one Rizzo or something like that? Because they were around the same price. And I think like that's around that week that I got the Rizzo.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, I
It's
remember
cool that like,
after
we
chat.
all go back way back, eh?
Yeah, it sucks that like there's just less money now. Like back then I was getting more commissions, there was more transactions, but at the same time I think about it and stuff costs less, so it's in a way the same. Like
Hmm. That's a good point. Like back in the day, like an NFT that was $2,000 was legitimately like $2,000 fiat. Now you see 2K and it's like, oh, it's just a whatever NFT. And you know what I mean? Just because they went up so high. And anybody that was holding from the beginning, all their assets went to like 10, 15, $20,000.
yeah, that's wild. I mean, Rizzo was like
17.
25 or 17.
Oh, you're right. It actually did hit, I think, in the 20s at some point.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I was looking at the low mints, and like the cheapest sub 300 or 400 whatever, and mine was two something, was like 30 something, and I was like, oh crap, I actually own a cool. I'm one of those guys that gets to own an expensive NFT.
Bro, that's exactly what I thought as well. And I was like, man, where's this gonna go? I remember back in the day, people were saying that Walt could potentially go to like 30K. And everyone was like, that's preposterous that would even happen. And then now obviously that's where it's at. So
What are your thoughts about the validity of January all-time highs? I know that people like to discredit it, and I mean there's some merit to that because of the fraudulent gems.
yeah, that's a good point too, because if you think about it, right, like I think things were artificially inflated to a certain extent. And also we couldn't cash out. There was like, the gem exploit. There was the fact that there was a lot of OGs with a lot of money that just kept making it climb. But I think that like when we do have mass adoption and we do have that same kind of, I do think that we could get to some crazy heights. The only thing is that once people start making 30, 40, $50,000, it's pretty attractive to cash it out and buy a new car.
Or get married.
Or get married.
That happened right with you?
Yeah, bro, 100%.
But yeah, I think it's also important to keep in mind though how many of us just didn't sell. Like
That's true.
like even though I had my 20 tots, like I didn't want to sell them at 14. So that was still real. Whether some of a lot of the liquidity coming in or not was real or not, there were still a lot of people still holding at those prices.
Bro, you're right, man. Like, and I feel for these people now that have been in this for so long that have 100+ sets. I got people like whales messaging me all the time being like, yo, I bought in the high, I'm still holding, like, is this gonna pay off? And I just keep telling them, like, with MCP and everything, like, I'm like, it's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? I think it's just like for all these people right now fudding, trying to exit, I think once like the master collector program rolls in and you're getting all these points and incentives and there's burning and there's potential renting and OUP, I just think that at that point, the people that are just stacking right now in the bear market are going to kill it, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy to say that things could return back to the all-time high whether there was gem fraud or not. Because if you look at, I mean, you can look at the chart. I think Putin Cheeks has the chart.
Oh yeah, Putin Cheek.
How
Shout
much
out to him.
how much fiat comes in every day. I don't know the exact number, but if you add up all the fiat that came in January, it's gonna be like tens of millions, maybe close to 100, or maybe even a little bit more. But is that really that much money compared to what we see in the space? I mean, Dodge just moved what, like 10 billion the past week.
Yeah, just because of Elon, it's
Yeah,
crazy, right?
yeah. So is even if there was fraud involved, like $100 million moved the market that much, and
Yeah,
granted, more now, so it would probably be spread out.
you're right. You're right. And I do think that it's going to trickle down. Usually the flow is like crypto does well. And then it's like kind of Bitcoin, Doge, Ethereum, like how's all that doing? And then NFTs like Bored Apes, maybe do well. And then afterwards, I find everybody comes into our projects. So we're
Yeah,
kind of like the last in line, like altcoins and NFTs. But at the same time, like I'm starting to see now a lot of these like projects that aren't license based starting to taper off a little bit and
yeah.
change really dynamically as this again with our licensed NFT projects, they're like maintaining that sustainability, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the difference when like you're legit attached to the IP or character and like trying to stay true to your kid self because like it's like that if the bull run comes or like years pass and like you're just to think, oh, I sold the first ever Spider-Man, oh, I sold the first ever Batman. That's gonna hurt you a little more than just selling an NFT that could have moon, but you don't care about the IP. You just care that they give you like, I don't know, exclusive discords and airdrops of IP that also you don't care about much.
Yeah. And it's so funny how VV is like spoiling us so much that now like new IP is not a big deal. Like, we had like things that dropped on here that on any other platform would have like blown a gasket. Like friggin' Toy Story, man.
Yeah.
Like if that like it was just a joke, nobody cared. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the heck? Like Toy Story is a big deal, and it's just another day in VV world.
I mean, isn't that the first computer animated film ever?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Grossing animated films ever. So it's like they're big deals, and they have strong collectible industries too. If you go to Facebook right now, there's dozens of Toy Story collector groups.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
And it's like, where are they at? Do you think they're coming?
I don't know if I think Vivi does a better job creating collectors than I'm not the first to say this. Like
Yeah.
creating characters rather than reeling them in. Like me, I had
Mm.
never collected anything prior to this.
Really, eh? So what drew you in for you? Like, why were you so interested?
Um, It all started with a Reddit thread about Omi, because Gary Vee made like a video on Full Circle. He ended up following me. I don't know for what reason. He made a video talking about his past like calls. You know how he's made many calls throughout the years about social media, about the internet in general. And he was just like looking at the camera. He was like, "You need to go down the rabbit hole and study NFTs. 60 hours, whatever it takes, 5 hours. Just go down the rabbit hole." And I'm never on Reddit either. Like I'm not really wasn't much of internet culture really. But I was like, I think Reddit's like where you find that that deepest, the more hipsterish, what's new kind of stuff. So I went on there, and I just started looking up NFTs, and literally within like 15 minutes, I came across this thread. I had like 8 points about Omi, and one of them was like they have Batman, they have the NFL, they have Fast and Furious, and I was like, wait, aren't NFTs going for like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and these are gonna be the first ones from like big brands? So I downloaded the app, and the first thing I bought was Todd because it said first appearance, and I didn't know much about collecting. But even if you don't know much about collecting, you didn't grow up with a collectibles household or anything. You always knew anyone. You could ask people on the street, like you always knew, like Superman comics go for a lot, Batman comics go for a lot, Spider-Man comics. Like you just know those names come with big figures, just like Babe Ruth or Tom Brady or LeBron James. And I was like, is this the first Batman? Like, yeah, let me just go get some. And I was hesitant to pay $80. But I was like, screw it. I felt like dumb. I was like, $80 for this digital thing. And then seeing it in AR was pretty cool. And then I showed my friends, and then they liked it, and then they bought one, and then we were like convincing each other to get more. And then that's when ended up buying 10.
Wow. Wow. Dude, that's so cool, man, to hear that story. And it's so funny that you say that because That's initially how I felt as well when I saw it for $80. I was like, oh, like for this digital picture. But then once you start understanding the significance of what it means, I was like, okay, this is starting to make more and more sense. And you know what did it for me is when I went on the Telegram group. Like Veve, like that's the Akomi site had that Telegram link back in the
Yeah.
day. And then everyone was talking about like, oh, it's the first appearance of Batman. And like it just like immediately I just like soaked it all up and I was like, okay, let me go ham and just buy some more. But
You bought
you're
a
right,
lot,
man.
16 or something like that.
18. Yeah, I bought 18 right away.
Sure. Wow. How many
Yeah.
of those 18 do you still hold?
Man, not to be honest with you, I like cycled them all and bought more back. But like
They're
they're
on you.
all yeah, like they all went out. Like it was like buying scarce things and I was like, "Oh, well maybe I want a few Tods back." And it was just crazy. Like that time was more like exploratory, but I'm
Mhm.
like, man, like the biggest thing was buying popular, you know, FAs and just holding them. That was like the number one way to make money. So anybody that was just like truly holding and then waiting for that perfect time to sell in Jan Feb and then maybe sitting on the gems and reinvesting now is just like they're god. Yeah.
Or what percent of people sold a big percentage of their vault in January and February and then just held on to the gems for many months?
I know a few. There was one whale I know that was like super smart about it and like
Danny,
he
no?
yeah, you got it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Danny boy. He
Yeah.
was just like I don't know if you saw him, bro, but like during that bull, he was just selling like I don't think he still has so much to be
Every
fair.
gold collectible had one of his listings. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Every time I was gonna go buy something, I saw his name selling, and then I messaged him, and he's like, "Well, Chad, he's like, there's only a few good times where you can actually sell." He's like, "So like, don't be concerned so much about like, oh, did I 2x, 3x, 10x, 11x? Like, he's like, if you're in the green, you got to get off the train. You can't
Yeah.
just continue to like think this is gonna go to 100x or." So it's hard. It's hard to time for sure.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, very few people will be able to time it correctly. Um,
Mm.
so for most people, just like I feel like any other asset, real estate stocks, it's best probably to just hold long term. But for those that are good at timing, they're going to be much more successful than long term holders. But the majority of people that try to time it will probably not succeed, or they
Yes.
will, but they might limit their gains.
Yeah, and like you said, it's like literally impossible to be able to like get it perfect. Where like I'll give you an example. Even that Superman #1, I'm still pissed about it because I had a legendary comic in my queue show up at around 3K and a bit, and I was like, oh, should I pull the trigger? And then I saw some cheaper ones that were like $650 that people just didn't understand the value, and instead of
Yeah,
just buying it, I went tried to back to get the other ones, and before then it took off, right? So it's like
yeah. It
it's
was it was.
hard.
Stressful. I don't like queues, or maybe it was just because of the glitch. But I was here at work, and it was so stressful. Like just not knowing how long it was gonna take, what to do, and like how much time was wasted. Like I like just clicking and getting heartbroken or instant gratification, but like the whole process. Because I went through and I got one of the like right now I got one of the tablets assigned to a student, and then I had my work laptop, and I just had like the devices open, and then I got sent back to the queue after being early, back to another hour, and then one of the tablets finally like let me back in, and my mentality was like if I see one of them 3K, I'm gonna just click it, click it. But all of them kept saying token secure, and to this day there are some a-holes are like probably just nonstop reserving it. Because like if you go to the uncommon
I
list,
know, I've seen
the
that.
top two or three, like they're just always reserved, always reserved. And then with the real one is like much higher. But I guess they're just trying to trick people into list lower or something. Um,
Yeah. And I think
but
there's a
anyways, I
little
went
something going
through.
on with your mic, brother. I think it could be
Can you still hear me?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's just when you lift it up, it kind of does this like little echo thing, but it's good. It's much better now. But yeah, I hear what you're saying about the cues because you're right. Like literally it was just you would go and I would sometimes just keep pressing buy now because I was like maybe after 5 minutes after it's done reserving I can get it, but it just like you said it was like stuck there
Yeah.
sometimes for like 24 hours.
Yeah, they had the 2650 listing for like more than a whole day. Literally, that
Wow.
50 was just there nonstop, nonstop. And until it finally went away, that's kind of how when things started just moving big time.
Bro, it moved, man. And a few people told me, like, let's just be real, right? Like, it is an amazing comic, like, friggin' 150 editions, 9.8. And I don't know about you, and I'm still trying to decide what I like better. Do I like more like the variant covers that are more new, hip, and maybe more like crypto focused? Or do I just want that original cover with like very few editions of the highest grade in a digital format? Like, but
Yeah,
nonetheless, you know?
yeah, I don't know either. Um,
Yeah.
I think it'll just be a case by case personal preference situation. I don't. I personally normally just go for the OG covers on Vivi, and in this case, I didn't go for common here because they were all the OG cover, so I was like, might as well go for scarcity. Um,
Mm.
but then there's also plenty whales I'm sure that won't care regardless, and they'll just go for the scarcer one, no matter how it looks, so long as it's like the official IP and certain scarcity.
I think you're right. I think that matters a lot too. And I think that's really what it's going to come down to is that the fact that like the secret rare has 250 editions of AF15 and then we've got the Superman #1 that has 150 editions. And bro, what's happening in DC right now reminds me of VV back in the day. There's like not a lot of NFTs and there's a lot of demand and prices, like a lot of people with a lot of money in there, but there's not enough to kind of go around. And now VV has, so much more things like here, and so that's why I feel like some of the prices are kind of tapered off. But I feel like that in DC, don't be wrong, like DC is an amazing project. It's not what I'm saying, but I just think that like, let's say they get Action Comics #1, Detective Comics #27, all these other huge comics that start dropping out from DC, you might see those prices. I don't know, maybe they're going to dip a little bit. Other people say they're just going to go viral, but we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
it could cause a like it's not a gem squeeze. It could just cause a liquidity squeeze like on Vivi. Um,
Right.
that's my number because I am still holding the legendary. That's my number one. That's my only real like concern that if they drop Action Comics #1 with less editions. But
Yes.
I feel like so long as that doesn't happen, then no other comic can really like trump it.
Yo, did you just say you're holding the legendary?
Yeah, I got it on the secondary for 2.2.
Oh my god, bro.
I was
Yo, I'm
like,
fucking pissed at you.
yeah, it was crazy because I was just like clicking. I was like, I'm not like I wasn't expecting to get any of the ones under 3K. I was like, it's just read, and then it let me in, and then I was like, oh snap, 5 minutes, and I ran to my classroom because I was in my planning period, and I got my wallet and I put on my credit confirmation. And I submitted it, and I was reluctant because I wasn't even 100% sure if it was the legendary because it's kind of confusing, and I was
Yeah,
like,
it looks almost like the ultra rare, right?
yeah, yeah. So I put up like the DC tweet to like look at it, and I was like, I put up the brightness on both tablet and phone, and I was like, that's the same brightness, right? It better be the legendary. And then I clicked it, and I was like, yes. And then took a while, like for it to take off, but then it finally did. I mean, the good thing is by market cap, right now it wouldn't even be in the I think barely top 10 or it wouldn't even be in the top 10 if it was on Vivi.
Which
So
is
that
insane.
gives me some comfort because I feel like it deserves to be at least like a top 3 market cap.
Bro, 100%. Like I totally agree with you. I mean, I said this to a few people that, the biggest thing that you look for in collecting, and we both know this, is popularity and scarcity. Those two mixed together, and the fact that you can't even buy that comic in real life, you can't. Like unless you're spending $500,000 for literally a 3.0, you're not getting that comic, right? So it's like here
Yeah,
that we go 150 editions. You know what's crazy too, bro? A lot of VV people begged it. Like you begged it. Mark, the other YouTuber, begged it. You guys both bought it. Then Johnny Dunn landed one on the
he
drop.
landed yeah.
Bro, that's insane. And then Spencer from Comics and Crypto also landed one on the drop too,
He
which is
landed it on the drop.
bro,
Wow.
that's
I didn't
like
land it. I bought it on the secondary. My drop experience was bad. But yeah, I think Javier from Twitter, I think he landed it too. I saw him tweet about it.
who which one, sorry? Who?
He's not a YouTuber, but he's on Twitter.
Damn.
Post about how he landed it, and then some maybe people just like bought it for like close to what it is at right now.
Yo, we got Randy in the house. Yo, Randy, what's up, bro? Thanks for stopping in. I also want to take a second to acknowledge Omicron. Thanks for the nice tip, bro. You didn't have to do that. And yeah, man, this Cal stuff's taken off. Like, look at this.
Yeah, it's like 1K now, right? Let me
Yeah,
pull it up.
floor right now is 950.
I'm gonna
Um,
say this, but because I do regret it. I sold mine.
oh
Um,
yeah.
I was trying to play the timing game, but it just keeps going up. That's why I'm like, okay, I need to stop playing the timing game. The last one I had sold on the day of the Superman comic. It wasn't even close to floor. I wasn't like really trying to sell it. I was like, well, if someone happens to buy it way above floor, I'll just go back and buy one at floor. I was like, maybe someone thinks it looks cool. And then it just sold the day of Superman. It just started climbing, and I was like, wasn't there like 30 others before mine? And nope,
Wow.
bought them all up.
Yo, people are going hard in those right now, man. And I think it's just like because I think there's a lot of speculation. This is what I'm hearing is that potentially a Cal will get you like whitelisted to like a detective's comic number 27. Again, that's pure speculation, not financial advice, but
That'd
that's
be
just what I've been hearing. So I think people are like, because they're Batman fans and it's like the Batman comic. And then I think there's obviously so much more utility happening. You can literally go into the website and it says all the things that the Cowls are going to be
the
able to
long
do.
list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I was in New York, that whole going to the Black Adam, which Randy went to preview, that's pretty cool. Getting to meet The Rock and seeing the premiere.
Oh yeah. Did you went to that?
No, I'm saying if I was in New York, I would have gone.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was
That's a
insane that
cool.
they did
That's a
that.
cool utility. I mean, some people would pay the $300 just for that experience. Period. And then on top of that, there was airdrops, and
Yeah. And
I got
bro,
maybe like I don't know. I had 3 for all the airdrops thus far, so I probably had like I don't know 10 airdrops right now, or like 12 airdrops. I don't know.
jeez. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they've literally done 10 to 12 airdrops. They've got, all these things are saying potentially, access to collectibles. They designed the first ever DC comic on the blockchain. Like it's insane what's going on with DC right now. So man,
Yeah,
everybody's here. So nice. Appreciate all your content. You guys are fantastic. Yeah, people love you,
I
bro.
know
Like,
him from Twitter. He's cool.
yeah. Mohammed says I've been trying to sell
Yeah,
my
I'm usually
Superman.
against like the whole notion that an NFT should be valuable just because they do airdrops, but that causes like a IP people love, and like their exclusive access is like it's cool, it's good, it's for the fans.
Exactly, exactly. And I think they've got some like more news dropping, and it's actually good too, I think, to create that competition between Veve. And I think Vive's got a lot more things up their sleeve that they're just kind of holding back. I think they got like Nintendo, I think they got Pokemon, obviously pure
Yeah,
spec.
so, that last Chucky release, it's from Universal, and we've seen plenty from Universal, and the new Mario movies, Universal,
Oh yeah. There we go, right?
and Pokemon. I mean, we have 20 reasons why we believe Pokemon is coming. That would change the game.
At that point, that'd be mass adoption. I couldn't see anybody that wouldn't want to be a part of it, despite maybe it not being interoperable. Like I just know these guys would be on it for sure,
Yeah, yeah. I think not being interoperable is definitely a big barrier for a lot of people with a lot of money in crypto. Which there's a lot of people with a lot of money in crypto. For a
Hmm.
lot of people, they probably be like, "What is that?"
Yeah. And bro, I don't know if you know this too, but the back owls, supposedly there's a lot of talk about them being interoperable. Like it's part of the roadmap. So
Uh,
yeah.
does that mean all the NFTs on Palm?
I don't know. Like I don't know how that would work, but put it this way, like
Oh
if
yeah,
that's it,
they
right?
want to put them on like what on Punks or Bored Apes or something like that.
Bro, I think yeah, they want to like put it
That's
out there so it'd be completely open and accessible. Like, and I don't even like see this is where big money's. This is going to change the whole
someone
game.
really quick under the floor. I'll buy it.
Oh, there we go. But think about this, right? Imagine you could take your Superman #1 legendary and you could put it in your cold wallet, and then you could just lock that shit away for 10 years, and you're
Which
one
many
of
will do.
what's that?
Which many will do for a lot of these big comics.
That's what I'm trying to say. So it's just a matter of time, man, before we get there, you know?
Yeah. Do you have any that you plan on just never selling, or at least for like a decade?
Yeah, like I think I'll be honest with you. I think I'm gonna try. I'm like if they release Action Comics #1 or like another huge comic on DC, I think they're gonna have a bit of a dip, and then that's when I've already talked to my wife. I'm gonna go in and try to get a legendary still.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that if it gets past like 15, 20K, then I won't be able to get one.
What-
So I'm trying to hopefully like if it can stay under 10 for a little bit longer, then I can make a move. But a Canadian bro, it's like 14 grand, right? So it's not it's not like so I'd like to hold that for the long term. Secret rare
Wait, which
Miles
one?
Morales, the Superman Legendary. I'm saying I don't have it, but I'm saying
Oh,
if I could get
oh yeah.
one,
If it gets there.
Yeah, Miles Morales, secret rare. I'd love to hold the partners for long term. Todd, and then secret rare Spider-Man's another amazing one.
You have all of those right now?
No, but I you know which one I'm really after, bro, is the AF-15 secret rare. Like
That's incredible as well.
To me, that's similar, close, like if not the same as the Superman #1. Like those two to me are like the top, right?
I think
Yeah.
so. Those are like the top of the food chain for the comic world. Because that one in real life has more editions, no?
Yeah, it does. It does. And that's why, because
So
the scarce.
that might be the reason why its price isn't as high in real life, because there's just more of them. So maybe the market cap is still similar.
You got it. And I think that's another big point that people are forgetting is like maybe Superman #1 wouldn't be as highly priced in real life if there was more available copies. It's just the fact that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a more significant comic in terms of what it means. Like a lot of people don't know that Action Comics #1 is Superman's first appearance, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I heard Sean from Comics and Crypto say that it's the first, what do they call it? Like standalone super, what's it called? Like when it's a
Yeah. It's like its own series or whatever, right? Like
it was like the first one for a superhero period. So it's pretty cool.
it's pretty
But yeah, I
insane.
think in terms of popularity, Spider-Man is like probably the most popular character just in the world right now.
Bro, it is. So this is my whole thing with like Miles is I'm just thinking like what if we do see that transition, even if it's not like the main forerunner, but I'm just saying like even if you presume that Secret Rare Spider-Man is 10 times more popular than Miles Morales, which it is, but I'm just saying if we ever get to like even 1/10 the popularity on Miles, then 160 available editions, compared to 1,000, like you just might see some crazy figures. So that's the thing that I think people just have to really think about it because when you and I were on it, we had scarcity on Veve, but we never had the popularity. So we had like Golden Mooglies, Donnies, all that stuff. But if
Yeah,
these were like AF-15s and all that shit, like maybe those would have been at prices like 100K and we would have never got to see them again.
yeah, the Donnie floor is like 60 something, which doesn't mean it's like a confirmed sale, but it just goes to show you that after a certain amount of years of people holding, it just lands in the hands of people that are like, I'm just gonna keep this until it's like a ridiculously life-changing amount.
Yeah, exactly. And Donnie's one of those things that, to me, I've said this before, it's almost like signifies that you're a whale because it's
Yeah,
like fuck you money. It's like who's gonna
yeah.
actually go buy a $60,000 Donnie,
Like
right?
the non-fungible wonderful song, like what did he say? Spend 27K on a pony. That's just like a flex, like for no reason. I just spent 27K on a pony. Not him, but I think who was it? Was it Dr. Prophet?
Yeah, of course.
His
Yeah.
his vault is ridiculous.
He's got 30,000, I think, plus NFTs. It's like that number one wallet. You know what's crazy though is like I thought he was like winning by a long mile, but there's actually a lot of people that like are obviously not as big as him, but behind him with like 20,000 plus NFTs, 18,000 plus NFTs. You're like, there's a lot of whales here, bro.
Yeah, and according to the VV Fox review, like the majority of them are just accumulating right now.
Wow.
Remember, I think it was like 90% or 90 something percent that they're buying more than selling in the past few months.
That's so good to know, right? So, and this is what people don't understand. Like, this is the hardest time to start buying because everything's so low and you think a lot of people aren't interested in it. But at the same time, if you're buying now, this is how you're actually going to make the money. Like, not when there's a bull market and you're like, oh, let me go buy a Todd for 12K. Like, this is the time if you're convicted and you have, the guts. And again, there's a risk, there's a big risk. But
There,
if you're like, this is how the big money gets to come, right? Oh, I think we lost VV Viral, folks. I think his chat might have died off here. I'm going to message him quickly. So, but while we're all here, actually, let me see if I can show you. I don't know if anybody saw. Oh, he's back.
my back.
Good
Am
to
I
see you,
back?
bro. You're back. You're back.
Oh, it's because I'm watching on your YouTube channel, but I guess there's a little bit of a lag.
It was funny. I was like, oh, he's gone. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'll just show you quickly today too. I don't know if you saw this, but VV hired somebody new.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. So I think it's actually, I'll just see if I can pull up Alex's Twitter right now. Man, Alex, I remember when he started with like a few hundred subs and now or followers, and now he's already at 14K.
He's so involved with the community.
He's so involved. Yeah. Yeah. So here it is here.
Yeah. So what is the position exactly, and what is the role?
So I don't know exactly the position. I saw them doing like kind of a social media manager role, but here it
Okay.
is. Excited to welcome Corey, Old Rhubarb, to Veve team. The hard work, research, and dedication from the collector's mindset that went into every Veve and 3 vid is a needed energy for Veve content. And I have to admit, man, like this guy's content, Veve and 3, I haven't had the chance to interview him yet, and probably I won't be able to now, given that he's actually an official role.
Yeah, interview official team members.
But he's got awesome content, man. Like he does a lot of things where he just like kind of reviews NFTs in a deep dive, probably better than anybody else.
I know he does very deep dives. I remember seeing one of his videos about what was it? Was it about like license speculation or video speculation? I don't remember, but it was like so in depth, and he went back through so many breadcrumbs from like over the past year and a half. So that's a lot of research he did.
Yeah, he does, and it's like I don't even know how he gets the time to go into that kind of depth.
I think he's gonna sell his house this week to get rank level only.
Yeah. Oh, look, we got Veve Vibes in the house as well. What's up, Veve Vibes? Yo, make sure to go subscribe to Veve Vibes as well. Great channel in here.
There's so many, and there's so much quality and so many of them. It's wild. It's gotta be the NFT platform with the most like YouTubers.
Bro, it's gotta be, right? There's so many people that do this. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hired him, bro.
It's hard to keep up with how many channels grow every like few weeks.
It's true. And I think there's literally, if I'm not wrong, like there's got to be, I know there's hundreds of channels, but I'd probably say there's probably over 1,000 channels now, like from different languages, Spanish. So? I think so, bro. Like I've seen, I could probably, if I had some time, I could probably name off like at least 100 channels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which there should be like a Veve trivia night one day.
Yeah. Bro, look at this. Pixel Trader, one of the serious collectors on the app here, says Veve Viral has top tier memes and clapbacks, bro. Respect. That master's degree comes in handy. Tucson's killing me here.
Second, you are Fett. The top 3% of low mints.
Wow, nice.
Still stacking low mints.
Bro, because it's so much cheaper. But I'm just doing it on things that are like significant FAs. So like Daredevil right now, for instance.
Yeah.
Like it's so for $100, you're getting a sub 100.
Like right now.
Yeah. Literally, I saw one for like 120. That's why I was like, okay, like people aren't like once they wake up, right? They're gonna be like
3-second lag, right? I can get it before people hear you say that. Let's see.
Yeah, it says Backhouse and the Legacy comic is going nuts. Yeah, let's see what the
Daredevil. I mean, I know it's cliche to say undervalued, and I only have like 2, so it's not like in my benefit to say this yet. But I feel like it's so undervalued. It's only one pose. It's like 6K something editions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, for the price point, and it, like I'm not saying Daredevil's like a top 10 superhero, but I'd probably top 30. Like I'd say it's significant enough where if I can get a sub 100 for twice the floor, I'll do it.
Yeah, significant enough where most people would know who you're talking about when you mention it.
Yeah, I'm seeing. I'm checking out the Backhouse collections right now. I'm seeing if what the prices are.
$950. How many do you own?
I just have the one right now, but I'm looking at getting a second one. And I actually think I might just sell the one that I have and then see if I can like upgrade to a better one,
Oh, she says my mic is off. Can you hear me now? She says my mic sounds a bit off or far.
Okay, yeah.
So you're thinking about getting a second one?
Yeah, I just want to see what kind of utility, like I know we're gonna get a lot of utility, but you only kind of need one in a sense to get the full picture, unless you want to just start getting more and more airdrops, which is a good thing too. But I'm just saying, like maybe I want to spend that other money on like comics and stuff, right?
Yeah. What about the logo? Do you have a Veve logo?
I do, bro. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's another one I would want to have that I don't have.
It's well,
I was so close to getting one for 1.7 or 1.8 right before New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
And my thought process was like, maybe if I wait until after Comic Con, there would be a few dozen new people who have one, and the hype over what are we gonna get will run out, and other new people might floor it. But then New York Comic Con ended, and it just shot up. And I was like, oh man, I asked a few friends, and they told me to go for it, but I just didn't do it, and now it's like double or more.
Man, it's difficult to time these things, bro. Like I try to do that all the time. Like I kind of felt that way about Miles Morales. I was like, okay, like I know it is what it is right now, but I'm like I could just see that kind of going up, just but I think it depends too. Like Vivi can only probably do so much with that gold and silver logo because they got like whales in the app that have collected like 1,000 plus collectibles and NFTs or whatever, and then they don't have that logo, but they're not getting any utility yet because they don't have the MCP. So it's like I feel like there's like limited to keep it fair. Maybe a lot
Yeah,
of cool
like
in
short term
person.
at least, they have to be wary of how the other 99% of EV users might react to too much utility. But I mean, over time, it's very scarce, and this company I think is going to grow tremendously.
Yeah, it's funny. Tucson's like there's been two drops that just happened. There's a
Focus,
drop.
focus. Did they
Yeah, the
sell?
Hocus Pocus. And sorry, bro. I've got there's so many things in the NFT world that I'm like, I'm not really concerned too much about the little things, but Hocus Pocus is sick. I mean, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. And we
Oh
got
yeah.
over 100 people that came in this chat so far, brother.
Oh wow. I don't know what the usual amount is or how this happens.
Yeah, this is pretty well, at least for me. I mean, I'm not like Cavell, Taps, or comics and crypto, but for me, this is, for a
Where has
random
Taps been? I haven't heard from him or seen him in a while.
bro. Taps has been chilling, I think. I think he's probably going to come back out in the next bull cycle.
I mean, I'm sure he's out there accumulating right now. He's all about accumulating in the bear market. I
It's
want him
true.
to make a video like top 5 altcoins I'm investing in during this bear market and just follow his place. Are you buying crypto right now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually got like I started bartending just so I
Mhm.
could put all that money into savings. Like just like everything I'm making is just going into like new projects because I'm like, this is the time to do it.
Yeah, like right now, this week, it's called Intercession Week. So it's really like a week off where we could come and work it and like do tutoring. And today's the planning day. And last year we had this calendar as well, and I just used every Intercession Week to go on vacation with my fiance. And then this year I'm gonna work them because I was like, we're in a bear market. I gotta work every dollar might be $20 one day.
That's smart, man. Honestly, yeah. I feel like that's what it's about. Like it's about, kind of like stretching in these times because as much as it's tough, like if you just kind of let these opportunities pass by at the next bull market, like we saw what happened. We saw what happened in January, February. Like that was insane,
Yeah,
right? And NFTs aren't even like half the world, most of the world doesn't even know what they are. And 1% are invested. So wait until we actually have this being used in metaverses when they're
and
avatars, all this shit.
1% seems high. Like I bet out of that 1%, very few are putting more than like a few $100. Like they still don't trust it. They might still be in that phase when I paid $80 for Todd and just was like, what am I really doing here?
Yeah.
So I like
Yeah.
as it becomes a higher percentage of people's portfolio, even that same 1%, like a higher percentage of the portfolio, like that could still grow exponentially within that same user base. Like me, I never expected to have such a like 10% of my net worth in collectibles or like digital or like whatever it may be, whatever percentage it might be for different people.
Yeah. And well, just I agree. Like this is like my high risk portfolio. It's like kind of like this is the okay. Let me get this Vader, whatever, for 700. Should go to 2-3K in a year, but it's still speculation. And I think Frank here says it pretty well. He goes for new all time highs. Stars would have to align. 50 to 100 million users. Fed pivot, BTC, and ETH hitting new all time highs are close. Crypto pay-in, marketing, etc. And I think
I think
just
that's too high of a requirement.
yeah, I think too high. Yeah,
50 to 100 million users to go back to all time high. I think 300,000 new users and we'd be back at all time high. Because we how many do we have like actually buying stuff on a weekly basis? Probably like what, like 30K was like the weekly active users. I know daily is like 12, 15 or something. Depends on the day.
we
Five.
got to get Vivi Fox on the case. She can probably do an amazing breakdown, right? That's a good video for her because then we'll know what's really like. How many people
As
have accounts?
Yeah, but I think 50 to 100 million. That's a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
I mean, if it was 1 million people and they spend on average of $500, That's $500 million. That's way more than we saw in January.
True. Yeah.
And I'm sure there would be too many whales within that million people for the average to be as low as $500. Would probably be significantly higher.
Somebody says AK VV viral, so they say AK is generally what. So you're right in that ballpark of around people that
For
are still.
the okay.
And VV Vibe says, I still don't think we realize how many fake gems were pumped into the market during November, Jan, or how long it was even going for. That's fair.
Yeah, we don't, but we do know the total dollar amount. We don't know what percentage of that was fake or not, but we do know the total dollar amount, and that total dollar amount to me doesn't seem too high.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just hope that the thing is a lot of people compare VV to Top Shots because they said, oh, Top Shots had the same closed ecosystem, and then pretty much when they cashed out, everything dipped. But my point to them was they also didn't have all the brands that VV has and all the significance of those brands. If you're just getting a guy dunking, that's not a really Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steve Nash, one of these guys. Well, Steve Nash couldn't dunk, but you know what I'm trying to say, a sick play. Yeah. You're not really getting anywhere with what it means historically, right?
Yeah, I never got the IPO behind Top Shots. Sorry for anyone holding.
Let me just make sure. I think I can't hear you right now. One sec. I think your thing's on mute, my friend.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, what were you saying about Top Shots?
Oh, I never really got into it. It didn't appeal to me. It just seemed too niche, and there was just the same product, and there wasn't much you could do with it. I guess some people can make the same argument about Veve, but I kind of like the AR picks and building vaults.
It's true.
So what are your crypto holdings? You said you were holding some crypto.
Man, well, what I got screwed on was Zilliqa, bro. I was big into Zilliqa back in the day because it was going to be another, the sharding process was a lot better. And, I had Cardano, a lot of Cardano before it took off. Obviously, Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, a lot of the big ones. Litecoin, I was following this guy that was just saying Litecoin's the silver to the gold to Bitcoin, and Litecoin never took off. As much as I wanted it to, it never really got that traction that it needed. So anyways, it was kind of interesting. But
Litecoin is what I use to buy Omi. I don't know why. I was completely new to this. I had bought crypto since 2017 or 18, but I sold for a loss before the 2018 bull run, I think. And Litecoin was one of the ones I bought, Bitcoin, Ethereum. And I sold Dodge before it even hit a tenth of a penny. I forgot. I tweeted about it the other day. I forgot what the amount was. But I just basically always sold too early.
Bro, I hear you, man. And this is where this is why I'm excited because obviously we're all just kind of slowly accumulating Omi, but I'm also thinking now too with the burning aspect, how many bots and everything were in the system buying Secret Spider-Mans and all this shit then got banned. My hope is that Veve will identify all those accounts that are complete scammers or whatever and then just burn those collectibles or auction them off. That would be insane.
They said it would take a year of an activity for the account to get closed down.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you're always able to request it back. So maybe there might be a lot that don't get technically burnt and they're just never listed, but we're unaware of the amount. I don't know how that's going to work.
I know. I would love if there was some clarity around that because, or at least maybe say unactive accounts. There's, let's say 1,000 Spider-Man, 331 unactive accounts. Then you'd be like, oh, do you know what I'm trying to say? Give you. Yeah.
Good to know how many are just sitting in an account that is never allowed to sell.
Yeah, we got some really good comments coming here.
What? Speaking of burns, I'm very excited for the OUP article coming this
week. When is it coming? Is it next week?
Maybe guys said it's 2 years. I think that's correct.
Oh yeah, 2 years of inactivity.
It's coming this week. They said before the end of next week.
Damn, man. Yeah, that's amazing. And that's obviously going to re-spark Omi and I think re-spark a lot of the things happening in Veve right now.
Are you pretty big in Omi now? I remember early on you were sticking to X amount. I don't know if you make it public, but have you been stacking?
No. I have some Omi, but I'm definitely I'm no Randy, I'm no Foster. I don't got hundreds of millions. I've got a few million. I'm not, that's not really like my heart's more in the NFTs and collectibles. So I don't know. Like the way I see it is like I can always accumulate more on me or sell things off if I find the perks are really good. But I know collecting well and I know NFTs well, and that's why I'm like, this is such an easier play for me to move up and make money than to just be waiting. And I just hear the whole thing about the pump and dump with a lot of the people that got in early, and I'm like, as soon as there seems to be like a high, it just comes crashing down.
Yeah. Hopefully it crashes all the way down to a point that's just exponentially higher than right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I think will be the case. Like right now that Todd crashed all the way down to 1K, if I would have just stopped buying after my first 10 and just opened Veve for the first time after a year or two, I would be like, oh my God, it's $1,000.
Bro, you know what's insane is how many of our friends we got to buy Todd's back in the day that like never even opened the app. Like I'm talking at
Yeah,
least 25 people that I know between
that's a lot.
Carson and I that bought one and like didn't even sell it at the all-time high. Like it's just still in their account. They've never touched it.
They don't even know the all-time high happened unless like they're watching your channel or keeping up with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and we
I have a lot
messaged
of
a
friends that
girl.
bought like early on in February and March, and then they're just not active at all. Like they're not watching any YouTube videos. They don't follow Vivi on Twitter. You've never heard a tweet from them. So there's a lot of just silent accounts that have a few that they're just holding for many years or until like a ridiculously high price.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Carson had a friend, it was like one of his girlfriends at the time he told to buy. And she bought one and like her dad paid for it or something. Her dad bought like 4 or 5 for her. And then I think like when McCarson messaged her during January, it was like, hey, just so you know, they're worth this. And she sold them off.
Oh,
Um
perfect.
yeah, so I'm like, what a
You
good
could use the money from just one of them to buy back 10 or 15.
it's insane, right? Yeah, yeah.
Is he still collecting?
Yeah, he's into like a lot of other projects now too, and he's actually like a tattoo artist. So he's doing like a lot of tattooing, and he's like we're thinking of me and him just doing like our own little creative like NFT project, like just like one of ones for fun. But he just like likes to come in, flip, make money, and get out. That's his
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna say,
his style.
he flips, right? He likes to flip.
He likes to flip. He doesn't like to hold. Like he's just like always flipping.
Yeah, I think eventually I'll get to the point where I'll start flipping after I have like my base. Like these are the ones I'm holding for years, and then just everything else, as soon as it hits X%, just sell, sell, sell.
Right. Yeah,
I
somebody
think,
here says Batcal or Todd Batman. What's your thoughts on that?
you know my thoughts. I think either one's a good option though.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I would agree. Both are
I'm not
winners.
as involved in the bad cow spaces. I've joined some. My only fear, uh, is that I don't know how like the component of like the clock is ticking. Like will the utility expire? And then if it does, is there still value there,
Mm.
or are they planning on continuing the utility for as long as Palm lives?
Yeah, I think they have like a roadmap for a few years, and then after that, maybe there's going to be a reassessment. But the way that I see it is like with the utility from the cows too. Like even if you were to like get one whitelist to a really rare comic drop and you bag the legendary
True,
like you did on Superman #1, then that value is insane. But at
true.
the
But
same
rare
time,
drops, so it might pay for itself within 6 months, even if the utility does run out in 2 years.
exactly. But then Todd's also a proven asset, like you talked about, because first DC NFT, first on the blockchain, first VV NFT, first set, like it's just insane how many things it is.
Different like sections of people would enjoy it, like BV fans or Batman fans or DC fans or superhero fans in general. But yeah, I think that both apply to both because I feel like the Palm team would probably like stay true or loyal to their community and expand the roadmap up beyond that. So maybe
Right.
I'm being hesitant for no reason.
It's exciting, man. It's exciting what's out there right now. It's amazing the competition that's coming. It's amazing to think that we have also like, McFarlane toys coming out. We've
Yeah,
got like all these other programs, and it's like this is what we talked about from the beginning is we're going to see that saturation now.
yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see what sticks out.
The only thing that would scare me a little, not even scare me, but like disappoint me if it didn't come on VV would probably be like Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z. But like seeing DC Comics go elsewhere, like it doesn't really scare me as far as a VV or OMI investor because, I mean, there's gonna be tons and tons of historic IP dropping for the first time, and VV can't have all of it.
Exactly, right? I mean, it would be almost like it wouldn't even be competitive at that
Be
point.
illegal. I was like, that's too much. You have too much power.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And then maybe they wouldn't get better to really get the mass adoption in the space because they're not getting the competition they need for things like utility, right?
Yeah. Plus, it
Yeah.
still benefits. Like we saw how the Superman comic dropping on Palm led to like a pump for Superman on VV because maybe people are like, wait a minute, this is like a valuable IP.
Oh yeah. A lot of people are saying cows in here. Caesar says the fact that the cows are one of one and that no more will ever be minted is what got me. No matter what Grail DC comic drops, cows will always be there for main utility focus. That's just what I see.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
could. Like they could easily wait till the price. Oh no, I want to recent listings.
Yeah. Price right now is
I think it's
950.
more likely than not that the utility will continue beyond their current roadmap.
That's the floor.
Oh yeah, 950.
950.
Wow, it's like 2x no over the past week.
Yeah. Yeah. It really did because it was like 600 and now it's
What cost it? Did like Jim Lee tweeting push it? Did Superman being expensive push it or?
I think that's
So,
what it is.
like you said, the idea that maybe it might get you whitelisted into Girl Comics.
You got it. I think it was that. And then a lot of the OGs and people that bought the cows aren't selling. So there's like so much demand now after that's. And then, like you said, man, you saw that Jim Lee tweet, right? Basically saying it's not a scan. This is an official like remastery.
Yeah, yeah, and I think just maybe seeing a big name just acknowledging. Well, I mean, we've known he's been part of it since the start, but yeah,
Some good comments in
it
here.
is one that's tough to sell if you only have the one. So I can see why a lot of people would want to just hold it.
Yeah,
Because like any
100%.
day now, I could get this, I could get that. Like I would just wake up one day or get an email like you have been airdropped this. Like the first ever DC comic. Do you have that one?
Yeah, I do. The Legacy cow.
Yeah, it's gone up recently, I think.
Yeah, it's like 175 ish,
Nice,
200.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, at only 10K editions for the first DC comic and first Batman comic, that's not bad at all. I'm an
Yeah.
idiot. I had three, and I sold them all, but I bought one back at 100.
There we go. That's
Like
good.
I have to have at least one.
This is actually a cool comment here from VV Vise. Back cows are being set up as the centerpiece for the DC Universe NFT project. Most things will stem from the cows or have the holders invited. Yo, you know what this reminds me of? Is like almost like a recur pass, like except
Yeah,
with better utility, right?
better utility, scarcer,
Yeah.
and thanks for reminding me because I have some recur passes and I'm not too hopeful on them.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe now Recur is going to learn from DC, and then we're all going to sell our Recur passes, and then Recur is going to make them like all great, you know?
I'm trying to think what could make a recur pass. There's just 60K of them though. It's so hard for unless they have Pokemon, and then you like use them to get new Pokemon. But I doubt it.
I know that's a lot at that point, right? You're right.
I think this bear market is gonna help a lot of big brands realize that. I mean, it's not against Palm 'cause that's strictly DC, but I think a lot of big brands are gonna realize like VV is where we should go. Like different, like maybe anime or other
Yeah.
free brands or music. Music that would be such a game changer.
Huge game changer. Like that's just another avenue that, people don't even think about. Music, right? As being a whole other enterprise. Like, it's insane, man. I don't know if you saw too that Lord of the Rings NFT drop from
Yeah,
Warner
yeah. Warner
Bros.
Brothers.
Yeah, did you buy one or no?
No, how's that doing? That's the thing about the one-stop shop. Like sometimes you think it's gonna be good, but the idea of setting up an account in this, you're like,
I
I'm not
know.
going to, unless you like really love the IP. And like with Superman One or the Bad Cows, I was like, I really like Batman IP, so I made an account. But for other stuff, I'm just like, do I really want to bother?
I hear you,
Did
man.
you get one? How's that doing? I know, like, if you're a super fan of Lord of the Rings, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It was like maybe, I don't know, the floor. I don't know what the floor is now, but at the time I last checked, it was like 170. So, I paid 100,
Oh,
but it
not
was, yeah,
plus
but
it
it
has
was,
utility, right?
it's just, I don't know. I just don't know what to think about it. It's just like a movie. And then you get these AR collectibles, but they're not really that cool because like they're not technically an NFT. They're just like AR collectibles that are within that, this movie experience. But I'm like, I don't know if it's just so epic that I'm not able to understand it, because on Vivi you have like a collectible, as this is like, this NFT is like a movie, an experience, bonus footage, 8 hours of special features, galleries, you know. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, is this just like a product from the store, or is this something super cool, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of like just like remove the concept of NFT and like paying $100 for like an ultimate fan experience. Like
Yeah,
pay more for Disneyland just for a fan experience. You buy a flight, hotel, and then just walk around.
right. Yeah, we got some good comments in here, man. Each cow at mint price has already paid for purchase, as well as anyone who bought in secondary near floor.
Yep,
Yep.
very true. Very true. So that's true. Like knowing that you're in a bear market, you're like, well, this other collectible, the only thing that can happen with that collectible is it goes up the floor price, whereas the cow is like at any moment you can get surprise.
That's what I mean. And it's cool too, seeing some of these ones that are really like unique and advanced for the cows. Like, I don't know if like you saw like Legacy. I don't know if you know him, but he's got like this like, I
Yeah, I
guess
see
they call it
him
the
on
Legacy
Twitter.
cow.
Is he the one that has like the ones with the something like an addition? No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's some crazy ones like, and they're being bought for like 4 to 10K to 12K right now. So
that's wild. So that alone lets me know that the value would be there even after the utility. The fact that people are paying so much over floor just because of wanting to collect it.
right, exactly, man. There's a
So that's
lot of cow people in this chat right now. There's like so many people being like,
yeah.
hey,
Right now, like Twitter has been overtaken too by back cows.
yeah.
All I see back cow, back cow, back cow. It's spaces too. I see some. I think because I posted about my Superman once and have been like tagging DC and Palm and stuff. I gained like a new access to a new community.
Yeah, did you? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to actually see now like kind of the merge between the two communities as well. And then Crypto Casey saying, or Corey says, research this project so much more than you realize. Yeah, there's a lot to it, man. Up the cows. Yeah. Oh, look, Sleepin's in the house. Let's fucking go. Good to see you,
do
Sleepin.
you have the hat, the sleeping hat?
I do not. I didn't even really know they were out there. And then all of a sudden everybody was like, the floor price of the Sleepin Comics hat is like 100 or $500. And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
that was like for resale. So, okay, cool.
yeah.
You're gonna do something similar, right? You say you're gonna do like one of one NFTs.
Yeah, I've got those, and I've also got some merch. Like I've got some like sweaters that I put out on my like link tree, just like NFT Pirates, and they've got like the logo, and then in the back it says like either, Mint Hunter, Grail Chaser, or VV Whale. So I'm hoping I've already got like maybe 10 to 15 sales, but I'm hoping maybe it'll not to Sleeping's obviously pretty damn popular. So
I mean,
um,
just imagine like you were sleeping like next Boron, and if like views just grows exponentially, like so will your channels. That's gonna be wild.
I hope so, man. Same with your Twitter account and everything else that you got
Yeah,
going on,
but I mean, I'm not like building. I'm just tweeting for the sake of my backs, and
man.
it's fun. Like it's just fun. I didn't expect to be so involved, like to where I'm on Twitter all day and have like a whole account with the name on it, and I'm here on YouTube right now. I was just expecting and buying a few Batmans, a few Omi, million Omi, and then just stepping away for years. But here I am every day.
Insane, right? It's insane how it captures you. And like it kind of like same thing happened to me. Like out of nowhere, I was just all of a sudden doing this like full time, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that your plan? Realistically,
No.
it could happen where you just are say peace to your day job.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could get to that point where, if I could do that, I'd love to do that. But I still, because I do three things that like similar to you, like I bartend, and then I
Hmm.
work like at a hospital in the day, and then I do this kind of as like a hobby on the side. So it'd be nice to give up one of the other two things other than this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow, you stay busy. Plus, you're a married man.
It's a busy life, bro. It's like constant, nonstop action. Man, we got so many comments. Look at this. I think this pump is because Palm, we know, will be doing the comics moving forward. The Superman after is great. But yeah,
I
comics.
I hope bad cow holders do get whitelisted into Detective Comics 27 because that would mean it would have more than 10K editions, and that would help give me peace with Superman #1.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be amazing.
Plus that comic could have 20,000 and still be considered like a grail.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a big deal. But
DC has
listen,
solid 10 that are amongst the top most expensive comics ever.
That's what I mean, bro. They have like the majority of them. Like I'd actually say there's a lot more scarce DC comics than Marvel, right?
I think the first Wonder Woman appearance is like up there. I think Flash has 2 of them. Batman has 2 of them. Superman has 2 of them.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on Flash?
Bro, for sure. I mean, I think Flash would be amazing. This is where the whole thing gets interesting because I'm like, oh, Hero came out first with Flash, and then I'm like, does that mean like what does that mean now for?
But what if the floppy disk came out first on Veve?
It's too confusing, bro. There's too
No, it's not a floppy disk. What about if the card came out first on Veve? It would just be like the people when I collect FEs, but people would be like, it's just the FE. Like for example,
Yeah.
Donald Duck. We know the lenticular came first. Like it was dropped first on Veve on the same platform. The FA came, I think, what like months later or like a month later. I don't know how much. And yet the FA, and I have both. I like equals in both. The FA has a much larger market cap, despite the fact that we know the FE was first on the blockchain. Or same with like or what's the difference between a comic and a card?
Well, I think the biggest difference is like I would look at like, the price points. I think like a card, gives you less utility in terms of what would be on the blockchain because a
Oh
comic
no,
you could
I'm
read
saying
through
as
it.
far as discrediting, like
Oh, I see what you're saying with the FA, right?
like there's almost every Marvel hero on Veve had a comic release first, or
Mm.
FA Buzz Lightyear had a poster first, or Donald had the lenticular card first, or like I feel like there's inconsistency with the whole Flash thing, like but it had a card, but I was like, but every other one had comics or cards or posters.
Bro, you're right. I mean, here's the way I look at it is like, remember when Darth Vader came out in the comic first? Like all those Star Wars
Yeah,
characters came out in that first ever one that hit the
yeah.
blockchain first, but then Darth Vader came out on as a collectible, and that's obviously doing better for the edition size. So it depends on how we're gonna view the data. Like I think if we view the data as like the most important thing, then like that Star Wars comic would mean a huge amount,
It's one
right?
of my favorite ones.
Yeah, it's insane.
Because it's like right there in the description, like it says Darth Vader, and I forget the other ones. I'm not too familiar with Star Wars, but I know it's a passionate
Yeah,
passion.
like Princess Leia and like, all these others, all the big ones, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that one's like an ultimate of first, if you were to consider comics first.
Yeah, you
But,
got it.
but I think it might be a niche crowd that'll, maybe a wealthy niche crowd that will focus on the literal first appearance, even if it was like in an object or description.
Hmm. Bro, man, listen, I know I've taken up a lot of your time. That was a
Oh
good
no,
fucking
it's good.
Yeah, it was a good
Appreciate
conversation,
appreciate
man.
you having me on.
It was so much fun, and like I said, you're a smart dude. It was cool to chat up with an OG, super chill, relax, talk to some of these comments, and apologies for the mic stuff. I think there was like a little bit issue with the yeah, as we could see with the echo and stuff, but appreciate everybody kind of sticking it out and listening to this, one of the true OGs, one of the guys that literally is one of the biggest influencers out there. I'd probably say you're like top 5 on Twitter. You got like you, Johnny Dunn, Taps, Cavell, a few others, but like comics and crypto, but you guys have a lot, like 15K followers, no joke, bro. I mean, I'm at 10 and it's taken me forever, so huge honor to have
It
you on.
actually all started when you retweeted me, and then Vivi retweeted me after you retweeted me. So appreciate it.
Bro, this is crazy. I swear I've been helping out so many people from the like I was like the catalyst to be like, hey, you should do
Yeah,
this.
because
So
like,
crazy.
when you retweet someone and then like you call me or Vivi retweets them after you do it, it shows you like in a way
Wow.
your notifications. So it's cool whenever you see someone get retweeted by Vivi because you retweeted. I'm like yes, and that's what
That's
happened with me and
insane.
you. Like it was my Todd video, the one you showed at the beginning. I
Wow.
tagged you and you retweeted, and then afterwards Vivi retweeted it.
That's insane. And like now you're retweeting me, like that's why it's like pay it forward. Now like I'm getting,
Yeah,
so
like
I
videos.
appreciate
I'm
all
like,
your
oh,
help.
let me share it.
Oh,
Well, I
that's
appreciate
sick.
you having me on, man. Have a good
Yeah.
one.
You too, bro. Thanks so much. Take care, okay?
Later.
Peace, bro. All right, family. Thanks so much for sticking it out today. That was a lot of fun. you know, Veve Viral, man, if you go check out his tweets, like he's just got so much info in there, and he's really doing a lot of his tweets for the community. He's like, I think he tweets more than anybody else that I know, to be fair. So yeah, just go check him out on Twitter. You know, make sure to follow him. You know, and make sure to tag him, man. He's, like I said, he really just wants to promote your collections, your channels, you know, everything that you're doing. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys, you know, taking the time out of your busy days and your schedules to come and kick it. And yeah, man, those cowls, you know, everything going on in the space right now is really healthy, really good to get that vibrancy back, and that you know, that pick me up that we all needed to get that market action, start making some moves, start getting some money, and start collecting the, you know, the top shit in the world. And I think, man, we're moving forward into this digital world, and it's just a matter of time before all these things that were important there are going to matter even more here, because I think this is the future. So thanks so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll just see you soon. Bye now.